We o we hayano. We ayano. We ayano. We o we ayano. We ayano. We ayano. We o we ayano. Folks, I'm back. Just in the interest of not making things too long, because I've been told by many I talk too much. Okay, and I'm not going to argue. I have so much to say. I want to get it out so bad, but I know the human being's attention span is not always that long. So I'm trying to keep these things shorter and string them together. And those of you that like it long, well, just keep listening to me. Just keep listening. Again, I am absolutely honored that you are back listening to me on this YouTube site. That blows my mind. Thank you, and I love you all for it. And I wish you all well. So I'm talking about the chapters in the upcoming book, How to Be an Earth Caretaker. And I'm talking really quickly about each chapter and giving you thoughts about them so that you can contemplate it. And in about 6 months, yeah, I got a red ant just biting the heck out of me right here. He just took a good chunk. Let him go. Moment of kindness. That's a chapter in this book. Did not have to hurt him. I take the moment and I ask you, how many times does an insect bite you or come within your space that you kill it? Now, I understand. If a mosquito's stinging you and you want to smack it, that's between you and the mosquito. But even then, I often brush them aside. We are powerful beings, we humans. Showing kindness to other beings awakens something within us that needs to be awakened more. So I don't go out of my way to kill anything, really. I'm not opposed to killing a mosquito that bites me, although I rarely do it. And I do struggle with things like mice in my house. I have killed and will kill them. And I don't feel good about it. I never have. I struggle with that still today. I understand there's not a clear defining boundary on what's okay and what's not. And that's up to each individual. But if you approach it through kindness and through love and care and awareness, you'll probably make a good decision one way or the other. So that's just a little deviation because the ant was biting me as I was speaking. Now back to the chapters. Chapter 19, Grok Nature. This is, again, if I forgot to mention it, is about our upcoming To Be an Earth Caretaker book coming out in about 6 months, somewhere around the beginning of the new year, 2021. Okay, Grok Nature. Grokking Nature means you become the thing in nature. So I told you before, I love trees. So if I grok a tree, I'll stand back, I'll look at it, I'll let my senses go to it, I'll let my being go into it. And there comes a point, and I'm really simplifying this, but you can learn this. There comes a point when I am the tree, observing the world from the tree's point of view, and there is a heart-to-heart connection between the two of us. It's not me outside observing, it's I become the tree. Even if it's a split second, boom, or hours. You could do that with almost anything in nature, and it is life-changing, and I can help you with that. It has a lot to do with the heart. It has a lot to do with faith and willingness, curiosity, letting go of control and judgment. Letting go of control and judgment. Things to think about. 21. Conquer false fear. We, in our lives today, are full of fear. Very little of it is real fear. I mean fear, that like if you aren't fearful and if you do not act upon that fear, you may die. You might not be okay. Very little of it is that. When that happens, yes, act. That's real fear. You must act. But much of our fear today is fabricated from society, from TV, news, books, things people say, but it's not based in any reality. And yet we make many of the most important life decisions and daily decisions that we make on false fear. There's this great acronym for it, false fear. Fear is spelled F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. You become a free human being when you let false fear go by the wayside. Confront it and let it go. We'll help with that in the book. 22. Get to know the dark. A third of our day is the dark. And most of us ignore it. We go inside. We never go out in nature in the dark, hardly. It's rare that it happens. Or if we do, we carry a flashlight, which can be a very useful tool, which I love and believe in. But there's nothing like going into nature at night in the dark, as the great horned owl would, as the coyote would, as the mountain lion would. To know the dark, you must be the dark. Your perception changes, your perspective changes, your whole world changes. It's a universe to be explored that we hardly know right before our very eyes. Like the ocean. We love the ocean, we believe in it, but how much do we know about what's below in the ocean? We see some things on TV, we hear, but to be able to go into it, it's endless. It's crossing those lines that the world has set up for us that we think can't be crossed, and finding out what's on the other side. It's miraculous. So much in our world, and particularly the world of nature, to explore. Endless entertainment, endless education, endless just pure joy. Endless. Go into the night. Get to know the dark. We'll help you with that. Get off trail. You want freedom? There's 8 billion people out there. That's a lot of people. If you're young, growing up now, and you're listening to this, there's going to be 10 to 12 billion in your lifetime. They all want space. They all want something to do. And most of them stay on trails. Get off the trail and you are free. You could go into Yosemite National Park, one of my favorite places on earth and most beautiful, where there could be thousands of people every day. And you get 20 feet off the trail and it's like no one's there. You get 100 feet, no one's there. You get a half a mile or a mile off the trail and you don't hear anybody. It's your park. You and Yosemite are one. It might as well be empty. Get off the trail. Climb mountains. Mountains are spiritual beings in nature. Why do we look at mountains and go, oh, we just go with wonder? We look at them with wonder. Look at me. Yeah, we go with wonder. We look at with wonder at mountains. We lose ourselves, even if we've never been in them or up high in them. With that, stretch a little bit. Use your physical ability. Go up into mountains, and again, get off trail. And you will find answers to questions you have in your life that you couldn't dream were waiting for you to discover. I have this place I used to go to all the time as a kid growing up called Roosevelt Lake in the High Sierra. 10,000 foot high lake below a mountain named Mount Conness, 14,000 feet. It was my spiritual place, my pilgrimage spot. And I really believe the idea of, one of my mentors used to say to me when I was growing up, that's where the gods go, to the mountains, to have their time with the earth. And I feel that's so true often. So mountains, mountains, mountains. You gotta go to them, you gotta be in them. We'll help with that. 25, pilgrimage. What a perfect segue. Pilgrimage. That was what I just said. That Roosevelt Lake place was my pilgrimage spot. This land, Headwaters Outdoor School, is my pilgrimage spot. I happen to be lucky enough to live here. Places that call to you. You go back time and time again and you go deeper. We call them pilgrimage spots. There's so much for you to learn in those places. They can be huge, massive places like Roosevelt Lake up in the high mountains, or it can be a secluded little glen or trail in the woods down in a city park near you. When you hear that call, when you feel that call, when you know in your inner being that call, you must heed that call. Go to those places. Often what happens with us human beings is we want to go to lots of places. So we go to one place and we think we know it. But that's not possible. Go back again and again and again and again to the same place. And each time, open your heart and let it take you deeper. There's so much for you to discover, so much waiting for you there. 26, acknowledge sacred moments. Sacred moments are moments in nature when something happens. It's like a peak experience. And it stands out to us. Like you might be watching a rainstorm and see a bolt of lightning shoot into the air. And it's like, ah! Or a bolt of light shoot up across the sky. Or a tree just brighter than all the others. Or you come down a trail and you come into a meadow and there's a grizzly bear out there and it spends time with you. Can watch it and it stays there. Or a herd of elk. They can be very simple things, sacred moments. Moments when you go deeper, you awaken more, and nature comes in, floods in, and fills you up with the place. It's a sense of place. That is a vital thing. We can help with that. All of this connects you more deeply. 27, land holds energy. Feeling the energy of land and the difference in different types of land. Mountains, prairies, oceans, grasslands, creeks, rivers, forests, old growth forests, new growth forests. Finding the energy in city parks, vacant lots, you name it, the beaches, islands. Every single place has its own unique way. I remember I read these incredible books a few years ago by this incredible sailor. Can't remember his name now, but he wrote a book about the Pacific Ocean and he wrote a book about the Atlantic Ocean. And it was all about the difference in the two, how they totally have a completely different way about them. And it blew my mind that entire oceans can be that way. And he was right. I read the books and I've been on both and I realized it's true. It's an endless opening into the deeper parts of nature. And we can help with that. Death and grieving. Death and grieving. So I'll end with this one and I'll come back for the last chapters after. So much about our connection with nature has to do with death. Everything in nature dies. Animals we love, trees we love. And everything that dies in nature in the most perfect way goes back into nature and regenerates new life. Whether it's a tree falling down, which is one of the most obvious over a long period of time. Think about this. A tree, from the day it's born, it grows up, it becomes a giant old growth tree. It gets infected with insects. It gets hit by lightning. It gets parts of it get knocked over by wind, rain, sleet, and snow. It freezes, it thaws. And one day, the right thing happens and a big bolt of lightning hits it and it falls. It hits the ground and it starts to rot. Underneath, beetles and larvae come up and eat the bottom of the tree. In the top, beetles, larvae, ants, other insects, birds knock the tree apart, chew it apart, peck it apart. Water rains and goes in and fills up the soft parts of the tree, and seeds fall from other trees and new trees start and it becomes a mother tree. And maybe after 10, 20, 30, even 100 years, that tree becomes soil, new life, and the new tree grows up. And what is more beautiful? As a photographer, I've never seen anything more beautiful than dead and dying trees, their silhouettes on a mountaintop or a ridge edge. It's endless. Animals die and become the earth. And what do we have in common with that? We do the same thing. It happens to us. You know, you try to think of things that bring us all together, human beings. That's one, death. We all are going to die. We don't talk about it a lot, but it happens to every single one of us. And then what to do about it. Grieving. How to grieve the loss of loved ones. How to grieve the loss of animals we love. Pets and wild animals. How to grieve the loss of a tree we love or a space we love. I remember growing up, seeing my most sacred places logged and cut, and finding deep anger inside and grief later, dealing with that. This we can help you with in this chapter. We can talk a lot about it. I mean, we could write a book on that one alone. Again, thank you for listening. I'll be back very shortly with the next chapter in this so exciting book that's coming your way. In fact, send me ideas. Send me ideas on what to write in the book or what you'd like to hear about. I would love to. And send me ideas for Tim Talks. Subjects you'd like. That would mean a lot to me. Okay? Wishing you all the best. Oh.